You answer every message. You show up when called. You rearrange your schedule, your sleep, your silence, for people who have never once rearranged theirs for you. And you call that loyalty. But somewhere underneath the noise, underneath the performance of being needed, there is a quiet, corrosive truth you have been avoiding. They don't value you more because you are always there. They value you less. This is not a relationship problem. It is not a confidence problem. It is a scarcity problem. And the ancient Stoics, men who operated in some of the most treacherous political arenas in history, understood this with surgical precision. They understood that a man who is endlessly available signals one thing above all else: that his time has no price. And what has no price has no value. You were never taught this. You were taught the opposite, that generosity, access, openness were virtues, that being there for people was the measure of your worth. But there is a difference between generosity and self-erasure, a difference between kindness and compulsion, a difference between choosing to give your time and being unable to withhold it. This video is about that difference. It is about reclaiming what you have quietly surrendered, not through bitterness, not through cold calculation, but through the oldest and most disciplined form of self-mastery available to you: Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. Emperor of Rome, commander of legions, arbiter of life and death across a civilization spanning millions. And yet, every morning, before the world demanded him, he sat alone and wrote. Not proclamations, not orders, instructions to himself. In the Meditations, he wrote that a man must ask himself each day whether he is living by principle or by pressure, whether his actions arise from his own sovereign judgment or from the need to be seen, needed, and approved. He did not write those words for public consumption. He wrote them because even the most powerful man in the world struggled with this exact wound. Seneca, writing from exile, and later from the court of Nero, observed something adjacent and equally devastating. He wrote that we suffer not from a scarcity of time, but from the waste of it, and that the greatest waste is time surrendered to those who never asked permission to take it. These men did not discover a self-help principle. They excavated an ancient law. A law that was true in the Roman Forum, that is true in your office right now, that is true in your relationships, your family, your silence. The law is this: scarcity commands respect. Abundance invites contempt. What follows are the rules that emerge from that law. Apply them with fortitude. Your presence is either a privilege or a given, and you decide which. Think of the colleague who appears at every meeting, every lunch, every after-work gathering, who responds within seconds to every message, who is never not available. Now ask yourself, when that person walks into a room, does the room shift? Do people lean in? It does not, because they have made themselves ambient, background noise. Contrast this with the person who attends selectively, who responds when ready, whose attendance at a meeting signals, "This matters." When they enter, the room recalibrates. Marcus Aurelius understood this. He wrote that a man must protect his inner citadel, the sovereign space within, from the relentless claims of the world. Constant availability is the surrender of that citadel, one small capitulation at a time. Today, decline one invitation you would normally accept out of obligation. Do not explain. Simply decline. The speed of your reply communicates the hierarchy of the relationship. When you respond within seconds, every time, you have told the other person that you were already waiting, that whatever you were doing was less important than them, that your attention is always on standby. Consider the dynamic this creates in a professional relationship. A client messages. You reply instantly, every time. Within a month, they expect instant replies. Then they feel wronged when you take an hour. You trained them. They did not demand it, you offered it, and habit made it a contract. Epictetus taught that the first act of mastery is mastery over the impulse, not the suppression of it, the discipline of it. The reply will be sent, but it will be sent on your terms. Today, set a response window for messages 2 to 4 hours and hold it without explanation. The man who explains himself loses. This is not cruelty. It is composure. Watch what happens in a workplace conflict when one person offers extensive justification for their position, long emails, nervous follow-ups, anxious clarifications, and the other simply states their position once and waits. The explainer looks reactive. The silent one looks certain. Certainty commands the room. This is what Seneca called the armor of indifference. Not the indifference of apathy, but of a man so rooted in his own judgment that he does not require the world's agreement to proceed. You do not need to defend your choices to people who are not invited to make them with you. Today, when challenged on a decision, state your position once. Do not elaborate. Let the silence that follows work for you. Strategic withdrawal is not abandonment. It is the recalibration of value. In a personal relationship, when you begin to pull back slightly, not coldly, not dramatically, you introduce a variable that constant presence had eliminated: uncertainty. Uncertainty is not cruelty. It is a force. It causes the other person to ask, for perhaps the first time, what your presence means to them. The man who is always there can never be missed, and what cannot be missed cannot be cherished. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we must not assume others value what we provide, but demonstrate to ourselves that what we provide has genuine worth. Withdrawal is the test, not a game, a measurement. Today, reduce your contact frequency with one person by 30% without announcement, without drama. An empty calendar is not generosity. It is an invitation to be colonized. You have met the person who says, "I'm free whenever," eager to accommodate, ready to bend, and you have met the person who says, "I have availability Thursday between 2 and 4. Calm, specific, unhurried. One of these people feels important. The other feels desperate. Your schedule is a declaration of how you value your own time. When you fill it deliberately, with work, with silence, with recovery, with thought, you signal to the world that your time is already spoken for. Not by arrogance, by design. Seneca wrote that the busy man is not productive, he is scattered. But the man who governs his hours governs his life. Scarcity of access begins with an honest accounting of where your hours actually go. Today, block 2 hours on your calendar for nothing and protect them as you would a meeting with someone you deeply respect. The Stoic law of scarcity does not deliver results in a week. It compounds. Every boundary held builds the architecture of your reputation. Every unnecessary explanation withheld trains the people around you in how to treat you. Every conversation ended at the right moment. Every invitation declined. Every silence allowed to breathe. These are deposits into an account that pays out in the form of respect. Respect, unlike affection, does not oscillate with mood. It does not withdraw when you fail to perform. It accumulates in the minds of others like sediment, quietly, structurally, permanently. Seneca wrote that the wise man does not hurry toward virtue, because virtue does not announce its arrival. It settles, like stone, like a reputation built over decades of composure. Commit now, not to all 11 rules, to one, chosen deliberately, applied without interruption for 7 days. Then assess the sediment. You came to this because something in you recognized the cost. The cost of being the one who always answers, the one who always shows up, the one who rearranges, the one who explains, the one who chases. You have felt the erosion, not in dramatic moments, but in the slow accumulation of interactions that left you less than you arrived. That recognition is not weakness. It is the beginning of fortitude. The Stoics did not preach detachment as an end. They preached it as a foundation, a ground solid enough to stand on, so that when you choose to give, to show up, to engage, it means something. It has weight. It carries the authority of a man who was not compelled to be there, but chose to be. That is the distinction between a man who is present out of anxiety and a man whose presence is a statement. You do not need to become cold. You do not need to become unavailable to everyone forever. You need to become deliberate. Choose one rule from what you heard today. Just one. Not the easiest one. The one that made something in you uncomfortable. The one you almost skipped past. That discomfort is the signal. Apply it for 7 days. Without explanation, without announcement, without waiting to see if someone notices. Notice yourself. That is the only metric that matters. The ancient teachers were not handing down suggestions. They were handing down laws. Laws observed over centuries of human behavior, confirmed in the arenas of Rome, in the courts of emperors, in the quiet journals of men who had everything the world could offer, and still chose discipline over ease. Those laws are yours now. Use them with precision. Use them with composure. Use them